close. So close, so close, so close. Maybe next time. Gets me going every time. Here we go. What's up, everybody? This is Jason over at GoPowerSports. This is Minibikin and Eazy, a podcast about go-karts, mini bikes, racing, anything power sport related. We couldn't do any of this without our sponsors. We got Tillotson, we got Trailmaster, we got Jose down at Rockwood. We've even got Printed Thread. So thank you, shout out to all y'all. I couldn't do this podcast without my besties. I got my main man Zane keeping me in the lane.
Hi.
Nobody.
No, I usually reserve it for for the guests. No one's gonna clap for me, man.
I got Bernie's on the 1s, 2s, and 3s. There is no Bernie Kim. He's already prefaced me with all this. Boo. And all the way from Boyd, Texas, we got our main man, Stanley Mount. Come on in, Stanley.
Yay!
That long drive.
Oh yeah. I do think you are the person we have talked the longest about having you on the podcast. We've been trying to line it up to get you on since the first season.
Yeah. I would say that you are one of our longest friends that we've had out here at the shop. So sorry that it's taken till season 3 to get you on. I know you're a busy man. But so why don't we kick it back to for our audience? They had to know, what does Stanley Mount do?
I work in the corrugated box industry, which is basically the industry of where all of the boxes come from. So the Tilton boxes, the boxes that GoPowerSports uses to ship, somebody has to make that box. So I travel around and move and install the machines that actually print the labels and fold them, glue them, and create the boxes.
How long have you been doing that?
Since 2012, so 13 years.
Okay, quite a while.
Yeah.
So how long have you been a GoPowerSports customer?
Coming here to this shop probably, I think, like the last 7 years. And I know growing up, we got a go-kart and rebuilt it, and that engine trashed, and we went to this go-kart track in Fort Worth and picked up a old Tecumseh engine, and it turns out after coming here, I figured out that it was actually Rockwood is where we went and picked up that old Tecumseh.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Or I guess it was new at the time, so.
Yeah. So what got you back in? So after you had the go-kart, years have passed. What then? How did you find GoPowerSports up here in Keller?
I think it's hard to remember, but I believe I was just looking on YouTube or something, and I found Cars and Cameras, and they were doing the Motovox drag bike at John's dad's house. I think that was pretty much right when they kind of first started, and I saw those videos and I was like, oh, that looks pretty cool and fun. So I went on Facebook Marketplace and found me a Motovox and bought it, and it had the little 3 horsepower engine and got it going, and so that's kind of the start.
Nice, because you used to hang out just about every single day with us, right?
Yeah. I worked more local and less, because I travel a lot right now. I worked more local in Haltom City, and so basically in living in North Fort Worth, I would travel up, and GoPowerSports is kind of halfway between.
Nice.
So I would make a little detour and come to the shop, get parts, or just really hang out. And
yeah, because people for a while would be like, they would ask you questions as if you were one of the employees.
Yeah.
And they
also,
still do.
because you're very knowledgeable on the subject.
Yeah,
So.
I've become fairly knowledgeable, I think, and I've always worn your shirts and hanging out the shop. Just you got GoPowerSports on your chest, so anybody walking in off the street, or they just assume you're an employee. So I just rolled with it, and I'd help out where I could. If I couldn't, I'd find somebody more knowledgeable.
But you still have that heart, which is awesome, because you bailed us out in so many events that we had last year in 2024. We'll start at Pool Start Picnic. You helped push all the bikes into that hot sauna that we were doing the photo booth.
Yeah.
And then you came in clutch with the GPS180 where we couldn't find the remote to our timer for the whole race. So then you went home, grabbed your timer, got it mounted to the board, and saved the day again. You're an awesome dude, and we appreciate you a ton.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's good to have you here.
Yeah.
I was gonna something that stood out to me was Jason has been trying to he was like, oh man, I want to give Stanley something, so I'm gonna go get a bunch of merch for him. And then he was asking you what he could get you. You were
You
like,
had
sorry,
everything.
I got it. No,
Yeah.
I got that one. You have every T-shirt that we have ever made, apparently.
Pretty much, yeah.
T-shirt,
The-
hoodie,
the-
jersey.
The last video of the merch drop of all that stuff, I basically, I think it was at the 180. I was asking Daleen if I wanted to get something. She's like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "One of everything." She's like, "Hold on, let me get you later." And then they had already packed up, and so I ended up getting with her again and basically put an order in for one of everything almost. And then I think got 2 girl kid shirts and 2 boy kid shirts because I have 4 kids.
Oh, okay,
Got my
gotcha,
wife a
man.
hoodie, and
Yeah.
so I ended up with multiple, a whole big box of merch. So
Yeah.
and it was pretty much everything he was asking for.
You're just
or
a
asking
full
about.
GoPowerSports family.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
So our last event was the GPS180. Tell us how that event was for you.
It was a lot of fun. It was really muddy. I pretty much started from the year previous building my bike for it.
Is that this one right here?
Yes, this is the Megamoto 212 that I've slightly customized.
Do you have
Oh,
a
just a
lightweight?
little.
Yeah, well,
just-
do you have a
just little bit.
nickname for it though? And if you don't, that's
No,
all right.
I
Usually,
don't. I
okay.
tried to come up with something, but I couldn't find something
Zane, give it a name.
to
Oh,
name
boy,
it.
no,
yet.
no, give me a second. Let me. Yeah, I don't want to rush that.
Okay.
No, this is so nice. No, I'm looking at it. It's like this thing is so cool, man. You did
Thank
a
you.
great job on this. Did you fab that gas tank?
Yeah, I actually I was trying to find somebody that would TIG weld an aluminum tank, and I wasn't having any luck. And I had a bunch of hotel points from traveling, and so I figured out that I could put them and link them to Amazon. So I ordered a TIG welder, and then so that was getting sent
Nice.
home while I was on the road, and I was basically on YouTube just watching every TIG welding aluminum video that I could find to kind of absorb some knowledge.
Wow.
And then when I got home, I got some aluminum and basically cut some pieces out, got some scraps, and tried it, kind of figured out what was working, what wasn't. And then once I kind of had a basic concept of how to do it, I just started welding the tank together. So that's the first TIG welding project with aluminum I've ever done.
I love it. That's
So-
end of one of one, man.
Yeah.
That's super
Yeah,
cool.
everybody that sees it wants a tank like that because
Yeah.
you didn't fill up at all.
No, I never ran out. I think I still have another, at least a gallon of fuel left in the
Dang.
tank.
He's saving it
So-
for the next 180.
Yeah, yeah.
No, man. When you brought this thing out today, it still had a lot of the mud on it from the 180.
Mhm.
I mean, it looks so gnarly, but it looks like it belongs in the dirt. It looks good with a coat, a coat of mud on it, man.
Yeah, it was covered. But of course, traveling didn't have time to clean it, and then it got cold.
Yeah.
So,
No,
and-
man. I'm glad we gave you a reason to
yeah.
power wash.
I mean,
I use this as an excuse to force myself to actually clean the thing. So,
Yeah.
now that you've already ridden it, are you going to make any adjustments to it?
The only thing that I need to do is the rear brake. I probably just need to replace it. It quit on me during the race.
Oh man.
So maybe tweak on that. But the chain never popped. It probably stretched, but my tensioner is self-adjusting.
Mm.
So I didn't have to worry about that. I lasted the whole race on one single belt.
Nice.
So, and I got enough fuel that I could ride from my house to GoPowerSports and back without filling up.
Prove it.
So-
Do it.
Oh.
You can ride with Jack. He's doing a long trip.
Yeah.
Dang, what if you beat Jack's record while he's setting the record?
I mean, actually,
Pass him on the highway.
what I was about to say, what Jack needs is that gas tank.
Yeah.
yeah, because isn't he using the same frame?
I
Yeah.
think he is. Yeah.
I believe so.
Ooh, Jack, if you're listening, write something down in the comments. Oh, yeah. So this is Facebook Live. If you have any comments for us at the end of the show, Bernie's going to read the hottest comments that come across his board.
Actually, I accidentally. No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
my goodness. Oh, my goodness. So, okay, so for the GPS 180, you got some hardware.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is it?
I got the Best in Show trophy.
Oh, for having
so
the
everybody
best looking
liked
bike.
my bike.
Because that bike is, I mean, looking at it, the thing is impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then, so we didn't have a trophy for where you placed, but how did you do during the race?
So overall, for a full suspension class, I came in fourth. I think I was a lap
Mhm.
behind, or maybe might have been 2 laps behind Cars and Cameras and those guys. I did Juggernaut class, or it wasn't really a class, I guess. Kind
We'll
of.
call it a class.
I mean, at this
sure.
point, it kind of is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did Juggernaut, so I rode all by myself. I had Andy Searles as my pit guy, and
Nice.
I didn't have to stop, so he was basically just watching and taking down my time. I think he might have been a little bored, but
You made it easy on him.
yeah. He had an easy job. But I came in second for Juggernaut. I think I was like 4 minutes behind first place for
Dang.
Juggernaut. So,
Yeah.
What kind of lap times were you putting out?
Andy said that I was doing about 11 and a half minute laps
Nice.
for every single lap.
Now, do you feel like you were going 100%, 90%, 80?
I was probably doing about 90%. I wanted to make sure that the bike didn't break and I didn't break
Yeah.
or get too tired. But at the end, I wasn't really like wiped out where I was like completely done. So I know I could have pushed a little bit more, maybe get flat 11s or 10:45 minute laps or something like that. And that way I could push a little bit harder. And maybe next year, that's the plan for next year. Basically, is get a little bit faster lap times and try and maintain that the whole time.
So that leads nicely into the question of, since you're saying you actually had some stamina left, how do you train for these events? Are you riding around your neighborhood in the backyard a lot, or are you just like, nah, I had a cup of coffee and I'm ready to go? Like, how does it work?
Pretty much, I just showed up and went. I didn't even do any practice laps because it was raining so hard and it was so muddy. And watching the Cars and Cameras guys testing, and that they left with a clean bike and came back with a mud monster.
Yeah.
And I was hoping the rain would kind of stop and just everybody practicing would soak in a little bit, and it kind of did.
Yeah.
Especially like after the first couple laps, the real muddy spots started getting paths. So it was a little better. But so I didn't even do any practice laps. I just basically got on the bike and went.
Okay.
So
Now, have you been at every 180 so far?
I missed 2 years ago the actual race. I came like 45 minutes after.
Oh, okay.
So
Gotcha.
I kind of hung out for kind of the after party hangout kind of deal. So
Very cool.
And that was the one that I missed, and that was, I think, within a week I had picked this frame up and had the idea that I was going to build a 180 bike to do the Juggernaut class.
Okay.
And so
Gotcha.
then this past year, that's what I did. I built it and finished it up probably the day before or the night before or so.
Okay.
Like the going out there to take the trailer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was working on it to the last minute.
Nice.
So
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Is there anything you want to change about it?
no, I don't think so. It's because I've pretty much spent a year thinking about it and kind of designing it in my head and then building it and figuring it out. So nothing broke. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right.
So the only thing left to fix is just you. So do you plan on coming out to some practice days or coming out beforehand to do more laps?
Yeah, I want to hit more practice days. I did one of the practice days before this past one, and that way I can kind of get a feel of the bike and see how it handled. And I made some adjustments after that, and after the race, all the adjustments I made did a lot better. And I haven't torn it, like taken the bike apart to actually like fully inspect it. Of course, as of 2 hours ago, it was covered in mud.
Yeah.
But I'll check it out and see if anything has worn down or got loose, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, so to help you out, we haven't even thought about doing practice days, and we probably won't until we get closer to GPS180, which is Saturday, November 8th, 2025. But would you like to see a few throughout the summer, or just some to the months leading up to the 180? Is it the more the merrier? Does it matter to you?
The more practice days would be good because I travel a lot. So like I missed the first one because I was out of town, and the second one I was in town, so I was able to go. So more practice days would definitely help me out for sure, just being able to actually make it there.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd like to go out there and do some more practice and ride that track because it's brutal, brutal track.
And I think just to keep up with our track to make sure we know where it is,
Yeah.
we should probably just schedule days out there just so anyone can come on out, ride the track, and that would help us out.
That's true.
So Bernie, you write that down in your notebook.
I guess good ideas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Juggernaut class this year. You don't plan on having a friend or anything?
No, Juggernaut
Okay.
again. So
Okay.
So in the past, have you rode with Paul, right?
yeah, 3 years ago I rode with Paul,
Okay.
and we did fairly good when we were riding the first lap. I think it's in one of the videos. You can't tell from the perspective,
Yeah.
but very first lap, like second turn, I nailed a rock with the foot peg, and we snapped the foot peg off.
Yeah.
And it killed like 45 minutes fixing it. So
Aw.
it kind of ruined our pace.
Yeah. So for newbies getting into the GPS 180, if this is going to be their first year, do you have any words of advice for them?
Full suspension.
Full suspension.
Yes, full suspension is, I think, a must, because it is rocks and more rocks and then bigger rocks.
Yeah.
But full suspension, you don't have to go crazy with the motor. You can go out there with the stock and just have fun. If you're just starting out, then that way you're not, you won't override the bike and with that terrain and the course. You just go out there, have fun, kind of get a feel for it, and just learn
Yeah.
basically the course, because and even from when I raced the first time to the second time, it was, y'all changed the track, made it like half a mile longer or a mile longer.
Yeah.
And it definitely, you can't remember the track hardly.
Yeah.
So you kind of get glimpses of what used to be there, but the rocks move around, they migrate, and new ones appear from it raining or whatever else.
Finding the line can be hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes out there. Yeah.
And then like this past one with all the mud and the rain,
yeah.
the line changed every lap
Yeah.
because so many people were going through.
Was there a favorite section for you?
I like the flat through, I forget,
Power line.
Was it towards
No,
the front?
it was
Tilts and
like through the
turnstile?
forest.
Oh, through the
and stuff
forest.
like that.
Okay.
Yeah, those ones like towards the beginning, the very beginning, I like that a lot too. Winding through the field
Mm-hmm.
and then dipping into the forest, that's pretty fun. And then really all of it, but the big hill, I like that one a lot because they're just full throttle and go all the way to the top.
Yeah, that
There's no
separates the
stopping.
men from the boys. Mega
Yeah.
Moto Mountain. If you
Yeah.
could just haul booty up there,
How
you
do
can
you
definitely.
feel about the new part with the slab of rock that you got to go down
The
and turn?
death cliff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we rename it for next
We're
year?
gonna
Yeah.
have to put a bunch of Grim Reapers hanging
Yeah.
from like the trees.
Yeah, it's very intimidating the first couple times you're going down it, but at lap 12, 11, stuff like that, you've gone over it multiple times, kind of figure out which rock to hit and then which angle to go down, and it wasn't too bad. It was a little bit, it was still kind of sketchy for me because my rear brake had faded out pretty soon, so I'm working with only front brakes the whole time, basically.
So going downhill is super fun.
Yeah.
So what's the first thing to go out on your body? Where do you feel the most, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for, Zane? Where you're fatigue. Where do you start to fatigue first?
I was gonna say tension.
Tension, yes.
Personally, my arms will start burning, and then like my breathing will get heavy, and like my mouth will start getting cotton mouth, and then I'm gonna have to like think to myself, okay, quit breathing that way. I have to like breathe in through your nose and out your mouth. It'll prevent that, and so I'll have to like remind myself to do that, and my arms will start burning. But I know for myself, if I just push through, it gets a lot better, and then I'm fine. Like lap 4 or 5, and pretty well ready to go. So
Do you have a background in racing? Like I'm assuming the first GPS 180 was not your first time racing a bike, or was it?
no, I've done some drag racing stuff. We do flat track with like when Tomb was a thing.
Oh, okay,
and
yeah.
do stuff like that, and with the North
Nice.
Texas Minibike group. So
Yeah.
I try to do whatever I can.
So are you going to be making a bike or trying to do some passes at the GPS 660?
I actually have a bike.
Oh, very cool.
So I've got a Rascal GT with a 228 Tillotson.
Nice.
So I've got it ready to go. I don't know how fast I'm going to be, but it's set up with a torque converter and the biggest like slick kind of tire I could find.
Awesome,
So it's
man.
like 15-inch rear tire.
I'm excited to see
So,
it.
yeah.
That's super cool, man. Did you paint it? Have you done anything
No,
to
it's
it?
still raw steel.
Oh, nice.
That's-
Okay.
This is like the first one I've actually like finished out, painted all the stuff that needed to be painted in years and years. Like,
Yeah.
I'll do a project, build it, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to paint it, but then it's rideable, and then I don't want to tear it down
To paint it.
Yeah, to paint it. So, this one I was like, I wanted to paint it so get it finished,
Okay.
and then working on a GT Rascal trike, like a drag style trike right now.
Cool.
So once that one's done, I'm gonna force myself to go get it powder coated. Because I've
Okay,
always wanted to
nice.
powder coat it, but powder coat a mini bike, but I haven't
Okay.
yet. So
What color are you thinking, or is that a surprise for later?
no, it's gonna be. I'm thinking a cheater blue.
Oh,
Nice.
So
Very
I think
cool.
that would just kind of thinking of Brandy's bike with busted knuckles.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
got the red one. Rick's got like a lime green.
yeah.
Flacco's is like a gold orange kind of. So one like I haven't seen like a blue one yet.
So you want to stand out?
yeah.
I like it.
So be a little bit different that way when we line them up at the at Pate's Wild Meat or Pull Start Picnic or whatever
Yeah.
event we're doing. Then there you got a kind of a variety of colors.
Taste the
Oh,
rainbow.
So
That's
yeah.
So I'm going to plug all of these events that he's talking about. So for this year, April's going to be a full month because April 12th, which is a Saturday, that's Pull Start Picnic. Hopefully we'll see your beautiful powder coated bikes by then. So write
Hopefully.
that April 12th.
Cross my fingers.
The day after that on Sunday, we're going out to Yellow Belly in Grand Prairie, Texas. That's the GPS 660 feet of pure adrenaline. People from East Coast, West Coast, racing for big monies, big trophies. It's always going to be a good time. And hopefully we'll see your 228 Tillotson out there.
Yes.
And then a few weeks later, I believe 2 weeks later, we'll be at Pate Swap Meet at Texas Motor Speedway. I want to say it's like the 25th through the 28th, whatever that Thursday through Saturday is. And then we got Mini Mayhem, like at the end of May.
Yeah.
So, yeah, everyone write those down into your calendars. So, Pull Start Picnic, you think you're going to be there?
I'm planning on being there. I plan on bringing some bikes, but my schedule changes very frequently, which is part of the reason why it took so long to get me here.
Yeah.
So
You're a hard man to pin down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We got to put you in a box, man.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to come out to the Pull Start, what would you bring? Because me and Jason have been to your shop, and we know how many bikes you have. How many bikes do you have?
Total mini bike. Well, there's a couple like Hondas and dirt bikes and stuff rolled in there, but it's not very many. But I have like 47 something, two-wheeled vehicles. Most of them are mini bikes.
Hot dog, man.
So a lot of them are just like frames, so they need wheels and engines and stuff
Okay,
like that.
gotcha.
So I've got a pile of those. But
Are they
I also
like
have a-
vintage frames? Is
Mhm.
that what?
Yeah,
oh,
a lot of
okay.
them are vintage. I have like 13 or 14 K&S Hornet frames.
Oh, very cool. Okay.
Shouts out
Yeah.
to
That's
the-
my that's
Every time I hear
I
about it, I
know.
think of it.
Yeah.
yeah, that's probably my favorite frame is the K&S Hornet.
I know, very, local Texas frame,
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's actually the frame that I built my flat track bike with.
Oh.
So I took a Texas or a K&S Hornet that was a little bit mangled and abused, and one that I was okay with cutting in half, and actually cut the frame in half and
Dang.
stretched it 4 inches, redid the rear tabs, and it's got 10-inch wheels on it, and that one's got I think that one's got a Tillotson 228 on it as well.
Okay. Where do your machining skills come from, if you don't mind me asking? Because you seem like super mechanically inclined. Like you're like, yeah, I just got a TIG welder and I hung out and I was just like, yeah, I just started doing it and I knocked it out. And it's like you made one of the better, like looking at the quality of your welds, they look really good.
Yeah, I
So,
was surprised.
so where does your aptitude come from? Like, do you have a background in it, or did you like work on stuff with your dad growing up? And
Just always growing up, my dad always worked on his own cars.
Okay.
Even now, he's got like a 2000 something Toyota Solara and it needs engine mounts, and he's calling me because he can't get a bolt out. He needs to borrow a big impactor. So he's always worked on stuff, and I've basically always been there with him working on it. Like I think 18 months old, going and getting screwdrivers out of the toolbox.
oh, that's
and
awesome, man.
So he kind of got me going with that, and then always building stuff. I think he got me a like Harbor Freight stick welder for my 13th birthday or something, and
Okay.
kind of like, this is how you start it, and kind of this, and then that was about all that he showed me, how to kind of get it started and welding
Yeah.
whatever together.
And then the rest is just history.
Yeah, I've always just tinkered with different things. I took when I was younger, a skateboard, some rebar, and an electric scooter, actually 2 electric scooters, and built like a 3-wheeled electric skateboard, and wired the batteries up to a toggle switch. So it was all or nothing.
That sounds crazy.
Yeah.
0 to 60 in an insane time.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool, man.
So I was wondering about your collection. Like, if you have around 47 or so, is there a goal? Is there a number in mind that might be too much? Or do you want to hit 100 frames or anything?
If I have the room, I wouldn't care about wouldn't mind having 100 mini bikes. I
Okay.
mean, there's no cap, I guess.
Okay.
Especially on Hornets, if it's
Hashtag
relatively
I was gonna say
reasonable pricing, then and I can grab it, I'll snag a Hornet.
So, are there any others that you have your eye on? Is there like a holy grail that you're like, man, if as soon as I see this frame, I've been wanting it for so long, I'm gonna grab it?
I need a swing arm for a Hornet 2-seater. I have the frame, but I don't have a swing arm.
Okay.
Oh.
And then there's another one that Harley sent me a picture of, and I had to ask him, like, what is that? And he's like, that's a Hornet, but it doesn't look like a Hornet. It's a little bit different. So that's one that I want to get, so that I have one of each style
Nice.
Hornet that they've made.
Oh, okay. That'd be cool. So you kind of have like the evolution of the Hornet.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And I've actually got a couple that, like I've talked to Tim and Harley and the guys that know a little bit more about the vintage stuff. They're a little bit different the way that the tubes are welded onto the neck. They, instead of being pinch weld, and then they're kind of like nosed in together behind the tube. It's almost like, I think it was a rup where the tubing goes beside it.
Oh.
But it's like everything else looks Hornet except that one little feature. And so
Just like
I've
a
got
different
kind of
production
some
year or
weird
something?
ones, almost like they're like prototype type ones.
Oh, that's
So-
pretty cool, man.
Are
That's
there any
awesome.
that you're looking to sell?
No.
Do you think you'll ever sell them, or the thing is just to collect them?
Probably just collect them, and then I'll pass them down to my sons and daughters, or if they want one or whatever. They can. I'm sure I'll still have some frames laying around. They can build their own, and so
You can teach them, you can show them exactly how to weld to
Yeah.
start
Mhm.
and then let them do it. Yeah.
yeah.
And I feel like I know the answer, but what has been the most challenging build that you've done so far?
Probably this one
Okay.
behind me, because I was trying to figure out the geometries and all that on the swing arm and the tensioner, because the tensioner it's 2 skateboard wheels mounted on to like a plate that pivots, and so it's got the springs on there, and so I had to add stuff. When I first mounted the springs, they were rigid
Insane.
mounted to the
Yeah.
frame, so when the suspension compressed, the spring pressure
Oh,
went
yeah.
away. So then I had to figure out, okay, mount it to the swing arm so it would stay the same.
Mm.
And then after the first test, the chain was rubbing on it because it's real tight. So I had to mount and machine some brackets so I could bolt one of the chain guides on to the inside of that chain tensioner.
It's a
And
Stanley
just trying
Mount.
to get it all to fit.
Got
'cause
him.
The chain is real close to the tensioner, and the tensioner is real close to the swing arm, and there's not a lot of room in there. So
On that bike, you have the Alfano 7. Did you happen to use that during the GPS 180?
yeah, I had it active. It tracked my lap times and
Okay.
showed my speed and the engine temperatures, and I had some lights programmed to come on at certain temperatures and stuff like that, so I could monitor the engine temperature.
Pretty
So
damn
that was the biggest
cool.
thing that I wanted to kind of see the RPM, track the speed, so I could kind of report back some information to Paul with PC Motorworks. So
Does Paul work on your engine?
he built that engine
Oh, okay.
for me. So
Very cool.
Go into that engine. What's all done to it?
it's got
We got people asking to do a walk around.
Dang.
Yeah.
To grab one of these? I don't know.
Yeah.
How was the best way to do it?
I would say move the couch and then just bring it up, and then I can get close
Yeah.
with.
Oh, okay.
What
But we
is-
could do that at the end. We'll do that at the end because we got a few comments. So yeah, we'll do that towards the end.
Well, shoot. Now, read some of these comments, though.
So Logan Buster Newell says you could do Carolina Blue like Richard Petty's Dodge Roadrunner.
Oh, what's
Ooh.
up, Logan?
Yeah, and he also said you can't go wrong with a good old stick welder. And then Nicholas Davis says I want a Murray Kilowatt.
Okay.
Which one's that one?
That's the one that Junior built with, which was the huge
The power
go-kart, the
pig.
power
Oh
pig,
yeah,
essentially,
yeah. And then
That's-
Logan also says I'm trying to figure out how you ran this, how you ran the 180 on one belt. Any tips, tricks?
So my gearing is basically the smallest front sprocket and the largest rear sprocket. So in my mind, the engine has more leverage on the rear wheel, which in turn will put less strain on the belt. This is all in my head, my theories of stuff. And then I didn't do like a super high stall, so it wouldn't be like hammering the belt when you nailed on the throttle. So, and then I was also, of course, I didn't really have a choice with it, but I wasn't like hammering the back brake, which would then have that high RPM of the engine just roasting the belt. So which, that
Applying
part I
logic
wasn't
to
going to
it,
do.
like-
That was my plan, not to like try and lock up the rear, but my brakes went out, so it worked itself out for me.
So, is there a tuner kit in your Juggernaut?
Yeah, it's a stage 1 tuner kit.
Okay.
In the Juggernaut. I think it's 3,500 RPMs.
Okay. So
I might
roughly,
be wrong, but or no, that might be 2,800.
okay. So smallest front sprocket, is that an 8-tooth?
It's a 9-tooth.
You have a 9-tooth, and how big is that rear sprocket again?
I think it's
70.
the 56
Oh,
because
it's a
it's 420
56.
chain.
Okay.
Logan called it
So
too. He
it's-
said 9-tooth. I figured a lower gearing would help.
Okay.
Did you learn also any tricks from Lee, like going up the mountain, like how you position your body? Does any of that?
Yeah, watching the practice video and watching Lee ride, because he did the motocross. I've got the foot placement because I did a little bit of dirt bike riding, not really motocross racing, but watching videos so that I could learn how to jump a dirt bike, and so I kind of got some positioning and I had that down. But watching him ride, he was leaning like way forward like his head was almost above the front tire, like leaning way forward, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And so after I did some like test riding, and I think it was at practice or just riding around, I leaned forward. It was like my eyes were open because it's so much better when you lean forward because you kind of the bike is pushing you instead of pulling you. So that helped me a lot.
Okay, because I know Lee went through like 4 or 5 belts, like flipping them inside out. So
Yeah.
he,
Yeah.
Front, back, side, side.
Yeah, when he
in,
had a
out.
good belt on the bike, he'd blow by me like I was sitting still. But then, like a few minutes later, I'd be passing him because he's on the side because he's roasted a belt or something.
So it's best to keep running and not go so hard that you're having to fix the bike. Like if you just ran consistent and didn't stop, you have a pretty good shot at a podium.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
Looks like, what was the fastest lap time? Do we remember? Something, I want to say
Quando?
Wando.
Was it like 9.5? Or I think
Yeah.
I think Lee was running like 9 minutes 17 seconds.
That's because I
Yeah.
figured it was early
Low
early
9
nines.
minutes.
Yeah, low
Yeah.
nines.
So it's low nines. So I'm thinking, like you said, you were doing somewhere in the 11:30, but this is one of those slow and steady seems to actually do pretty darn well.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you got 4th place overall, 2nd in Juggernaut, and you didn't burn through any belts. I think that's the big thing too. Is a lot of guys they'll speed up so much on the straightaways or on spots where they can build up some steam. But then, like you said, you're slamming brakes, and so
Yeah.
now you're burning through the belt because you're going to have to slow down. So
Very interesting. What other comments we got, Bernie?
We got Jim Stack said, "Here's a comment. I'm coming for that crown next year."
I'll see
Great.
it. I'll believe it when I see it, Jim. Good to hear from you, though, bro.
Logan also says brakes only slow you down,
Yeah.
and he
Word.
says,
I think by definition, yeah.
yeah, that's the point." Logan also said, "Yeah, that's called the attack position." I guess what Lee and
Okay.
what you were doing.
Okay.
That's really That's
Yeah, it helps a lot.
so you just have to kind of trust you're not gonna go flipping over then.
Yeah, you basically like lean forward and then nail the throttle, and then the bike pushes up in the foot pegs,
Oh,
then-
okay.
almost like, I don't know, in front of the Titanic or something. Like,
Yeah, I've been
it's
watching these-
pushing you along, and it feels so much better than like if you're standing straight up and you're nailing the throttle. You're like
Yeah.
you're having to pull yourself forward, and
It just
you're
doesn't make
strain
any-
your
yeah.
arms,
Okay.
and so you lean forward, you have no strain on your arms because it's all pushing through your feet.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah, I've been
it
watching
was-
these videos on YouTube where they'll do hill climbs on these dirt bikes, and yeah, it gets pretty intense. Like just trying to climb like these super high inclines, and they all are in that attack position that you're talking about.
Nice. So, other than this GPS 180, do you have any other memorable races that you can think of?
It was the I forget what year it was. The like kind of Billy Bob's parking lot drag race.
I
The
need to find
300
footage
foot
of that. Yeah.
drag race. That was kind of like probably my first racing event, I think.
Hmm.
So I had the Motovox, and so I kind of was messing around and built it into a drag bike. It's a Harbor Freight 212. I think I put a cam in it. I think it has stock rockers. I pulled the head off and shaved it and ported and polished, and I don't know what I was doing. Just doing stuff to it, and put a I got with Aaron, and he helped me put like a 26 millimeter carburetor on there, and we were basically dumping fuel in it, and I almost won that event.
Dang.
So I always say I lost by a spark plug because we were dumping so much fuel and we raced so much it fouled out.
Dang.
So instead of leaving the line hard, it sputtered, and I was actually racing the final against Taylor.
Oh.
And we were photo finish wheel to wheel at the end, and it was best 2 out of 3, and both times he was half a wheel in front.
Oh,
I was
man.
like, dang it.
But that makes a good race because it's not a blowout.
Yeah.
I mean, that's close.
And another thing that I always think about is like, I asked Paul to help me when I was building the motor and stuff, and he had probably the biggest, baddest motor out there, but he didn't have the gearing, and I spanked him.
Dang. Everyone spanks Paul, though.
Yeah, that's an ongoing theme I've heard.
Spanking Paul.
Yeah.
Now, out of all the racing that we kind of do you lean towards one or the other? That like, what do you favor more?
I think the 180.
Okay,
I
you like
think
the
I
off-road stuff.
Yeah, the off-road. It's a long race, so some of the races like the flat track, you go out there for 10 minutes, you do 5 laps, and
It's
you're
Disney
kind of done.
World.
It's like quick events.
Yeah.
So the 180, it's drawn out, and you're racing for 3 hours. I get a lot of racing put back into my system
Okay.
per se.
And you get to hang out for the whole weekend and just
Yeah.
kind of chill
Yeah.
with everybody.
I mean, it's a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
Would you want to see more events like that, like more dirt racing events?
Yeah, I'd like to see some flat track out there because there's
yeah.
a pretty good flat track out there now.
Okay.
We're getting closer and closer. I would love to see some big O flat tracking, though. Like that kind of a big track to do it with.
Yeah,
That would be sweet.
They're usually small tracks, though, right?
yeah, they're usually real small. Some are smaller than others. Some not big O size. That's probably the biggest one I think for flat track that we've done. The favorite flat track for place for myself that's my favorite is Texas Tornado Boot Camp.
Heck yeah.
That is like the most perfect flat red clay flat track
Where's that?
in existence. It's in Montgomery, Texas.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, but that's the Colin Edwards Texas Tornado Boot Camp. So it's a flat track like racing school. They do camp events and stuff.
We should go
So-
do that.
Why have we not done
Yeah.
this?
But we've gone
Why
down there a few
haven't you?
times.
I didn't know it
race.
existed until about 2 seconds ago.
How many hour drive from here?
I think it's 4 hours.
That's why.
It's close to.
Oh,
Houston.
that's why.
Yeah.
I can only drive 3. Sorry, guys.
Then the Prius dies.
Yeah.
I've seen video footage out there, and it looks super dope because it's underneath an awning too, right?
Yeah.
For
There's an
most of
awning,
it?
so it's all lit up. So it's pitch black dark outside, and we're flat track racing under a big awning
Oh, that's super cool.
and like perfectly manicured dirt. And the coolest thing is you don't even know what the track's going to be until about 10 minutes before the race.
Real.
So all it is just a flat dirt under an awning, and there might be a couple tires out there, and one of the guys will come out there with a chalk cart, and he'll walk it, and he'll create the track about 10 minutes before we start. So
Oh, that's super
you don't
cool,
know what
man.
it's gonna be.
With like
So-
landmines and stuff.
Yeah,
Wait.
yeah. Last time I was there, I hit one of those tires and front flipped over my bike in stock class.
Oh, no.
So but
Dang.
the bike survived. I got back up and
Yeah.
hopped back on it and
Everyone
kept
was
going.
good.
Yeah.
How often do you go out there?
As often as I can.
Oh, okay.
So
gotcha.
it just really my whole deal is my schedule because
Yeah.
it's always changing. Sometimes I'll be gone for 3 weeks at a time. So
Oh, man.
You should just quit your job.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
yeah, I have too many bills.
Yeah.
You're saying that you wrecked. What has been the gnarliest wreck that you've been a part of?
That one was probably the gnarliest. I didn't get hurt. I when I landed, I was on my back looking up at the bottom of the awning and did kind of a mental check. Okay, am I okay? I'm like, yep, I'm good. So I hopped up and grabbed the bike, started it, and just kept going. Um, the only other real wreck that I've had was actually in the parking lot here.
Oh.
Was it on the trike?
No, it was on the Motovox drag bike.
Okay.
Because I had like a 4600 stall in the stock 30 series, so it had the garter spring stall.
Yeah.
And the tire, I think I had screws put in the side of the rim to keep the rims from spinning or attempting to, and green slime, and the tire got a little bit low and basically spun the tire and ripped the valve stem out, and the tire went flat.
Oh man.
And the sprocket on that bike was 68 tooth, so it was like a 1/4 inch smaller than the tire.
Oh my goodness.
So it hit the sprocket and just started pushing me, and then it got squirrely and flipped me off the bike.
Oh, no.
Right.
And
on
that
the
was just
gravel.
right in the front parking
Yeah.
lot here.
Oh man.
So
Okay.
I made it about halfway down. So all of that happened within half of the parking lot, and then I went another 25% of the way.
Was there,
Oh,
were there
man.
spectators for this?
It happened right behind John and Isaac. They were standing in the parking lot. So I still have like a white spot on my shoulder
Oh,
from
no.
it's scarred, and another spot back
Oh,
here that's
man.
just a white. It just took all the color.
You can get free souvenirs when you come out to GoPowerSports.
Yeah.
Dang. But I feel like I can remember another time you had a drift trike, or you had a trike with PVC
Mhm.
on it, and
That
I
was-
thought that you rodeoed that thing around and it flung you off.
I think it did fling
I'll say, am I
me off
making
that
this
time
up?
too.
Okay.
That was the Motovox again.
Yeah, the Motovox.
Made I had access to a machine shops and stuff, so I made some like adapter brackets and adapted a live axle to the back, and had big 12-inch PVC slicks on the back, and was whipping it around, and with that basically modified Predator on there. It's too much power for slicks, for those drift trike slicks. So
Oh, I'm sure.
it threw me off the back, and I had like this little mock drag wing on the back, so it scraped down the back of my leg.
Got
no.
So yeah.
You put a
There's
drag
been a
wing on?
yeah, it's like a tiny little drag wing, because I had some lights and a battery box
Okay, I
in a
got
little
you.
Pelican case, and it was my drag bike,
Yeah.
so I made like this like fake drag wing looking thing to kind of cover the box.
That's cool
Dang.
though.
So
Now
it's
as I
more aesthetic.
yeah, as I reach deeper into my memory bank, you made your own mini bike out of just raw steel, right?
Yeah, I've actually made 2 from
Oh.
scratch.
Okay, and they were
one-
full suspension, right?
Yeah, one was full suspension. That one, it's another heavy bike. I think it weighs 190 pounds.
Wow.
It
Dang.
has MB200 front forks and like the heavy duty Azusa rear shocks. And I think that's a Tilton 212, maybe a cam, and a 24 flat slide. But the suspension on that one is like floating on a cloud. It's so soft and absorbs everything. So
Just
I-
just a juggernaut. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you ride that bike at all?
I haven't rode that bike in probably 3 years, maybe.
Wow.
Oh.
But it's one of the ones that's in my shop.
And then the other
So
one you
that's my
made was
one.
like the micro, right?
Yeah, I wanted to build basically the smallest bike I could, because it was after Pate. There was this little like 4-wheel go-kart. It looked like a tractor seat with 4 wheels and an engine. So I wanted to make a mini bike version of that, basically. So I took a 5 horsepower Briggs and Stratton and bolted some wheels on it. So
Nice.
that one does have a name. That one's been dubbed the Suicycle.
Yeah.
So it's
Have you
pretty
been-
fitting.
Have you been thrown off of that at all?
Yeah, I've had to
Okay.
replace the seat a couple times because it flipped backwards and snapped the seat
Oh
in half
my
because it hangs
goodness.
off the back a little
Oh
bit.
man.
Yeah, it's definitely sketchy, but it's fun.
Nicely done.
It's like a smaller, more dangerous flea. Just
Yeah.
and you've
Yeah,
also
it would sit on this fire pit.
nice.
Oh, okay.
So
And you've also made like a mini bike trailer for that micro, right?
that was for the Little Rascal.
Okay.
So I made a gooseneck for what 2 or 3 years ago. Pate swap meet. That was one.
Oh, I
I
remember
made
that
it to the
one.
last day. That was the one where it was a big windstorm. They were
Yeah.
saying, and we're in the grass. So I made a gooseneck trailer to pull that little micro with the Little Rascal,
Nice.
which
Oh, that's
has
cool.
a Tilton 225 on it. So
A lot
I
of
guess I like
engine.
little bikes with big power.
Yeah. It's yeah. Now this is something I was curious about when it comes to the start. This is way jumping back a ways. When it comes to the GPS 180
Mhm.
this year, did you feel that there were too many people for the Le Mans start?
No.
No, you liked it.
No,
Okay.
yeah, it was good. It was actually less carnage than I was expecting. I was expecting to have to dodge a bunch of people and
I saw a lot
people
of people sitting it
running
out
into people,
actually.
yeah.
Like they were like, okay, I'm gonna let these guys get out there and crash
Mhm.
into each other and
yeah, it wasn't that bad. It was pretty much everyone was kind of cruising.
yeah.
You had some people that would weave in and out, and they were just ready to go. But it was fine.
I mean, it looked awesome. I just
Yeah.
the line stretching
Mhm.
around the entirety of the pit. I was like, that's a
Yeah.
lot of racers. Where were you in the starting?
I think I was number 192.
Woo!
That was my number, but
Okay.
there wasn't that many bikes, so
Yeah, so you were
I think I was like 3/4 of the way up the
nice.
line. So
Okay.
I was towards the back, which I was okay with because of all the mud. So I'm like, okay, that's good. That's however many people go through that mud before
They'll
I
dry
even
it up
touch
nice and easy.
So, yeah.
Okay. Very cool, man. No, I was curious 'cause I was like thinking, I was like, man, it looked insane, but a lot of
Mhm.
people were just hanging out, so it didn't seem terrible.
Yeah.
So come on out. You should come ride.
What's funny about those starting positions is that we had these poker chips, and I guess there was more, like there was a one poker chip and then another one poker chip, so there were doubles that were in there. And before I threw all the poker chips into the bucket, I go, how many racers we got? And they're like, over 200. I said, all right. So I dumped them all in, and they go, oh, never mind. It looks to be only around
It's only-
100. I think there were like 120 actual racers.
I feel like there would have been more if it didn't rain.
Yeah.
That storm that week before.
Yeah.
Night before.
Yeah.
Like
So even though you got 192, there was 1 through 300 twice in there.
Oh my
there
God.
was 600. What a waste of time. We won't do that one again, though.
yeah, we'll just throw 150 in.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's like 300. Oh, wait. I read it wrong.
Yeah, I remember a couple guys like, I got 62, and like, I got 6, and then 2 minutes later,
Yeah.
I got 62. I'm like, oh, there's multiple.
Oh
I guess.
no. Yeah.
That was a fail. But every year we're getting better.
Oh no, I mean, and more people are coming out every year. The course is getting bigger, more interesting.
Mhm.
Is there anything you think that the course could use? Does it need more straightaways, more serpentines, more foresty
We
bits?
need a jump.
We need
A jump.
Actually, a lot of people did say they wanted like a tabletop or a jump or something.
I've been pushing for it, but then we start thinking about people actually eating it.
Insurance, yeah.
Insurance
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
We need to run the race the other way.
Oh,
Go
man.
backwards. Yeah.
I
Pucker Up Buttercup would be gnarly.
halfway through the race,
We make everybody turn around.
everybody change places.
We haven't discussed about making any changes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, that would be. I mean, unless there's something that you constructive criticism.
well, because you've
mean, the
seen
only-
every iteration, so
Yeah.
yeah.
So, I wouldn't change anything to the existing track, but adding to it is always
Well, you
an
want to see it
option, so
longer.
make it longer. 4 miles.
In my head, I'm thinking if we went by one of the fishing ponds so that you get a little bit of scenery
That could be nice.
Through the water.
Yeah.
and through the water,
Through
or
the
I had
water.
like a plank that's only like 8 inches wide.
That was last year. Through
Yeah,
the
yeah,
pond.
through the water.
Dang. Okay, if you can ride the 8-inch wide plank over the pond.
Yeah. Or you have to get into a boat, float over. And then,
Well, I think what we're missing is like Mario Kart style shortcuts. You need shortcuts that are kind of hidden, like a little bit, so that people can like, oh, actually, yeah, if you just go here and you can go down, you'd go
Well,
down the planks.
People
or,
were making their own shortcuts because when you
Yeah.
go up Mega Moto Mountain, you're
Yeah.
supposed to kick left into
were some
Sherwood
people just
Forest
going
Park
right
2.
across.
Some people, or at least one person, went straight on through.
we need to put
only a
spike
mile.
strips.
I didn't know about that shortcut.
We'll just put
That's
little
not a
spike
real
strips
short-
over
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think that's if we put some barriers up or something.
Yeah, that was to me the answer to your question. What does it need? Is like more guarding or barriers to kind of keep people on the actual track.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because like at the big mud in the beginning, they would just cut the corner completely off or go way outsides, and I think just sticking
Logan
on
Logan says
the
we
disc
need a
on the
small
track.
MX section, motocross.
Oh, I was about to say, is that short for? Okay, all right, got you. Nothing.
For what?
Nothing. I'm not gonna say
I
it.
think that I'm guessing that's what it means. MX.
Yes, you're
Yeah,
right.
motocross. Yeah.
Don't do it.
Okay.
A short motocross section.
Yeah.
Does that mean jumps?
I'm gonna guess that's Logan. What do you mean? I just realized this is Buster.
It's
Yeah.
busted.
Yeah,
Buster.
I just realized that.
Yeah, he's talking about jumps and whoops and
I mean, that could be fun. I don't know where
some
we would
mild
put it.
whoops
Yeah.
would be okay.
I mean, that
We
would
don't
be
have
cool.
that great of suspension. Most people.
Yeah. And I
Oh,
don't know
man,
if that's-
Some
all
people
the
don't
guy-
have any.
I was gonna say, yeah, everyone in the hardtail class
Yeah.
is like, don't
No
do
whoops,
that.
No whoops.
the other changes I would make is I would have more wood under burning bike and have an actual
this
bonfire.
year was a little
weak.
little weak.
Anticlimactic.
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess then we made up for that by having fireworks shot into the crowd, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
We are
probably
bringing the
funnest
fire
part.
to you.
Yeah.
When are we going to see this GPS 180 video?
Man, it's so much. I have to relive this day like 40 times.
40 hours at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane how many times you have to look at this footage.
Yeah.
So then you got to take breaks, and then the breaks lead to other projects. We're doing so much stuff here. So it's like, yeah.
Dang. So never.
Yeah. At the next 180, you'll see it.
Yeah.
If
One
we're
week
lucky.
before.
I'm gonna say
Well,
October.
according to the calendar, February 13th.
February 13th?
Yeah.
That's
Well, it's-
less than a month away, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's
We'll
the
see,
15th right now.
We'll
Okay.
see. We will see.
Okay. Well, we have a few more minutes. Any other comments
We
before
got a
I
ton of
take?
comments. Jim Stack wanted to know, did you do Ironman or team race? I think we talked about that earlier.
that-
He's the
Iron Man
juggernaut
or
boy.
Juggernaut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buster says he's going to be holding some races at his home track real soon.
Oh, let us know. We would love to help
he banked
promote.
a triangular track as well as motocross track.
Nice.
Wait, what's that? Okay, this is
And he's
this
up
is
in
Zane being
Oklahoma.
dumb. What's a triangular track versus a...
Like 3 turns instead of 2.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And then Jim Stack is racing this weekend at PA at the Reading Motorcycle Club, and then going to support Mason. Shouts out to Minibike Mason.
Oh man.
Oh, I'm
the
wearing
Misfits.
You got
Oh,
your
yeah,
Misfits
shout out to
shirt
Misfits
on.
with the
Yeah.
shirt
yeah.
on.
In March at the 3-hour event. So I guess they're doing a 3-hour event as
They
well.
are.
Yeah.
Looking
Nice.
forward
Shoulda
to the
wrote
mini
that
cycle
down.
again.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, we should find out when that is.
Yeah.
What is it called? Southern
Mini-
Hospitality?
I don't. His website.
No, the race.
race.
Oh,
I've seen the flyers for it. Everyone go to Minibike Misfits on Facebook and
Yeah.
join that race.
Shouts out to them. Yeah. Buster also says we need Mario Kart objects you can throw at each other.
Ah,
See?
turtles.
Yeah.
There are tons of turtles in
There
those
actually
pods.
are
Yeah, you
turtles
gotta
in
catch the turtles and then you can throw them.
Yeah.
That's the only way. You can
Or
do
when
it.
you fall off the plank, you just grab a turtle
Yeah.
and just knock
It's
the next
it's also
guy.
Exactly.
it is a BYOB race. It's bring your own bananas. If you
Ba-
bring your own
ba-
bananas, you can throw them out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's a long walk for no payoff.
I like it. I like it.
Okay. Okay.
Jim Stack says he didn't like that joke.
Kick him off the podcast.
Oh man.
Tough crowd.
Le Mans style starts and endurance races rock. When it's motos, a short lap race makes it so tough to get out to the front. A bad start will end you no matter how fast you are. I've had my fill of online bobbles. Lappers decide. Wait, there's a lot. Lappers decide your destiny to a point. And run the course backwards. See? I'm telling you, it changes everything.
We
And
should
it's
at least
minimal
try
work.
it once.
Yeah. Going down that hill would be nuts.
Yeah.
You know what you do?
We're
You put a jump at the top of the hill.
Oh, okay. That's where the MX
There
course
you go.
should be right
That's
there.
where to put the jump.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now it is Death Mountain.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah. That's
So yeah, little tabletops all the way. Jumps unfortunately bring huge liability.
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's why we have waivers. We've also been we've also been talking to the owners of Crossbar Off-Road Ranch about doing a 5-hour mini bike enduro race in Davis, Oklahoma. 5 hours would be nuts.
Well, I think up in New York they do a 24-hour.
Oh yeah, they do.
Wait, what? Where?
Yeah,
Our boys that come down that fly down every time, Matt
yeah.
and
They
the
come
other-
down. That 2 years ago, they came down, bought Trailmasters, cars and cameras, hooked them up,
Yeah.
And then they left him with Mark Smith of
Lime.
the Lime
Lime,
100.
yeah.
And then they left him there this year again. So they just went to his house, picked him up, and then rode again.
Nice. Oh wait, we can talk about it more
The
later.
dude with the sparkly jacket.
No, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was more. So wait, what's up with like? Is the Lime 100 going on this year?
No, there were events that were already going on, and it was hard to schedule it. Yeah,
Man. Okay.
yeah. Let's see what else we got. Shouts out to NTX because they hold some great races as well.
Yeah.
NTX mini bikes.
I met Nick Miner at one of our practice days, and I saw him win. I think down in Waco. I saw it on a Busted Knuckles builds video down in Waco. But yeah, shouts out to those guys.
I guess New York, they do the 100-mile challenge.
100-mile. It's not 24 hours.
They probably do that too.
Okay.
Because I remember hearing
Yeah.
24 hours.
And thinking that was nuts.
Yeah, we need to get them on the podcast next time.
I would
Fly 'em out.
Oh man, yeah.
That would be
Or we can
nice.
go see him in New York.
We are going to be in New York.
Yeah, make that happen, boys.
I mean, we were talking about trying to do a ride out over the Brooklyn Bridge.
Let's do
Just saying.
Yeah.
how are you going to do that? You're gonna-
Dangerously,
Oh,
illegal. I don't know. Yeah,
It's New
like-
York. We'll steal some mini bikes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we ship some bikes out?
That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. We would love to be accessories.
24 hours of Lemini is in Florida.
Florida.
Okay.
They're so close together. I
Yeah.
always
It's
get 'em mixed
basically the
up.
same place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New York and Florida, same spot.
Yeah.
Dude, shouts out to Buster.
Making it happen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice talking.
Any other notables?
It's called the Big Send 300, and Logan won the NTX Outlaw Class season. Shouts out to Buster.
Wow.
Yeah, you want to go to the bike at all real quick?
What'd you say?
You want to go to the bike at all real quick?
I want to go to the bike at all?
No, we'll go over the bike real quick.
Do the walk around.
We can. I
'Cause
also
what I'll
wanted
do
to
is
give
I'll
you a
just-
gift.
I'll just move this.
I was gonna say we could also just go on. We could do a live afterwards.
Yeah, let's do a live afterwards because we're just at a couple minutes.
Okay.
I wanted to give you some merch, even though you already have it. This is in your size. And you guys can also go to GoPowerSports.com and get your own black camo hoodie. It's the race team hoodie. It's got GoPowerSports down the sleeves.
I don't even have that one yet, actually.
You're not supposed to have that. But there you go, Stanley.
Loser.
Jim
Thank
Stack
you.
told us not to give you one. So.
Damn.
For the jokes.
Jim.
Well, okay, so you want to go live after this then?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on out here. Thank you for bringing your bike. Thank you for being a friend to the show and the shop. You're an awesome dude. We can't wait to see what you do this coming up year. Hopefully, you're at all of our events.
Schedule allowance.
Schedule
Yeah.
allowing, yeah. Hopefully travel will definitely let you come on out. And thank you for your family for letting us borrow you again. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
To everyone out there, be sure to like, subscribe, and as always, ride on. Good job, senor. You killed it.
Great job, man.
We're gonna end in 3,